Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, this video is specifically for Kat. Can you afford to stay at a hotel? Evictions. We had to go through this class up here when we were in the shelter, and they talked about evictions because there were things I definitely didn't know. Neither one of us has evictions on our record, but I don't know how you can have an eviction if you were never, if you didn't sign a lease. Anyway, so when we took this class, they explained the whole eviction thing to us. There's a legal process. And most landlords don't want to have to go through the expense, they don't want to have to go through the hassle of formally evicting anyone. And there's a difference between you being asked to move out and being evicted. So I don't know if maybe...
I know the police have to serve papers on you.
Yeah. And your landlord has to actually go to court and get a formal...
eviction notice.
Yeah, formal eviction notice. Oh, gosh, can you afford to stay at a hotel? Those places sometimes,
cheap.
Yeah, sometimes they cost a lot more than an apartment does. I mean, generally, I would say they always or almost always cost more than an apartment. The house sounds interesting. That might actually be better for you privacy-wise, and gosh, I wish there was something we could do for you. Where are we going to send you your... Okay, when we send you your Christmas present, it's going to include your birthday present and your Christmas present. Or presents, because actually there are some things we didn't send you last time. We sent you some things that we kind of misplaced, and hopefully we can get them in this time. But where do you want us to send that to you? Of course, don't make that public. Now look, if we had the means to buy some land, a few acres, 15, 30, 35 acres, and we could get a few of those portable buildings and turn them into little cottages, then you wouldn't have to pay rent. But have you actually been served papers as a cop or a
sheriff?
Or sheriff actually gone to your door, or justice of the peace or whatever, gone and said here, and handed you, have paperwork and handed it to you, or maybe even put it on the door. I think they have to hand it to you, don't they?
I think they have to hand it to you. Usually it's the police or the sheriff's deputy or somebody who does it.
So
I know.
Excuse me. Now, maybe you've been asked to leave, because there's a big difference between being evicted and being asked to leave. Usually what they will do is they will ask you to leave before they bother trying to evict you. And if you leave, then you don't have an eviction on your record. You left. I know. You said Darrell doesn't want to live up here, but it's not cheap up here. Apartments are not cheap up here. Texas, I guess most places are affordable, but up here
it's horrible.
Yeah, and because property taxes are so high up here. And yesterday or the day before, I contacted two reps and one senator in Concord, and one person, she said, well, many of my constituents, they want to expand Medicaid. And I said, many, but what about the majority? So she's not going to vote the way I want her to vote. The other two I haven't heard back from. But like I told that lady, I said, you want to win the next election? I can guarantee you I will not be voting for her, because by expanding Medicaid, that means we're probably going to wind up with a state income tax. And I don't know how many states don't. Texas doesn't have a state income tax. New Carey doesn't have a state income tax. Maybe
I think Florida doesn't.
Florida. What about Alaska?
I don't know. I don't know if Tennessee does. There's only like 10 states. I think Nevada doesn't.
So, you know, the federal government will pay the Medicaid for 2 or 3 years, and then the state has to start paying. But it's like I said, it will cause a state income tax to come into being. They're already proposing one. Anyway.
But they need to figure out a way to stop this people not having insurance too.
Yeah. But
like with me.
So, I mean, like I said, I would say move up here, but you said Darrell doesn't want to live up here, because we could probably help you get into a shelter. Of course, we'd let you crash with us until you could actually get into one. You just couldn't tell anybody you actually had a place to stay, because if you did, then they would say, then you don't need to be in the shelter. But they have what, three
shelters.
3 shelters, plus there's a private cold weather shelter, which isn't open yet. It only opens when it's 0 degrees or lower.
They haven't opened yet?
I don't think so. Well, I mean, you know, during the day they have the
walk-in.
Yeah. But I don't know if the city, I think, started paying some of the help fund it. It started to help fund part of the shelter, but
because they realize how many people are homeless.
Yeah. So they have the women's shelter, the men's shelter, and the family shelter. We spent time in the family and the women's shelter.
The family shelter can be a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean,
too many kids running around loose.
Yeah, and they're little kids. You know, and the teenagers cause drama, and the little kids are noisy. You know, we would be willing to help you as much as we could, but that doesn't mean there's a whole lot we could do for you.
Don't they only let you stay in there for so many months or something before they try to get you over into the transitional shelter too?
I think so. And they also have that. What is it, transitional housing?
It's like a transitional, yeah, but you're supposed to be like looking for a job and an apartment and stuff while you're there.
Yeah, they have over by the
kitchen.
King Community Kitchen. There's a building. It's like transitional housing or something.
It's a big house.
Yeah, I think there you have a little more maybe
freedom.
Yeah, freedom, but that's like you go from one of the shelters into the transitional whatever it is.
But then you're supposed to be getting ready to get out on your own and take care of yourself. No help.
Now they do help you with was it deposit?
Yeah.
We
need to start paying back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They do help you with getting like a rent deposit.
I think it's $500 to pay.
And they don't. I mean, you have to pay it back, but there's no interest. But again, you said Darrell doesn't want to live up here. But I would check to see if you actually have evictions, or move-out notices, because they're two different things. I mean, some places aren't going to want to rent to you even if you have a move-out notice. And that's still not the same thing as an eviction. So, I'm not sure what else I can say right now. The one thing about the shelters up here are your pets. If you get a note from the doctor
that they're a therapy.
That they're a therapy animal, a therapy pet, you can have them in the shelter with you. So, anyway, I don't know. Staying in a hotel, motel, whatever, it just sounds
expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. Wish there was something we could do for you, but I don't know what we can do unless you were up here. Then maybe we could. You know, we know some of the resources up here.
Are there homeless shelters in Dallas?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are. But anyway, bye.